All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Beau Real Estate Podcast. I'm super pumped. I have Matt Lionetti on the podcast for the second time. And without any doubt, we had some technical issues right in the beginning again. But I'm glad we were able to make it work. So, Matt, thanks a lot for being here.
Thanks for having me. Stoked to be here.
Yeah, so for anybody that doesn't know Matt, he's actually probably one of my favorite people in the real estate space. Just with his content creation, with the things that he does with his podcast, with the broke agent over at Overask, which most real estate people are probably already tuned into. But if you're not, go check it out because it's pretty awesome. But without further ado, will you just do everybody a real quick favor and introduce yourself, let everybody know what you've been up to and who you are?
Yeah, my name's Matt Lionetti. I work for the agency. I'm a real estate agent, content creator. Been doing it for about 6.5 years now. And my story, pretty much, I started as a touring musician. About 2.5 years in, was thinking about getting out of the business because nothing was working. Started doing these real estate comedy skits and everything kind of changed for me. And it's been interesting to see just the industry as a whole change in such a short, pretty much over COVID. I find like a lot of like the marketing in the industry is just like completely changed.
Right.
And so now we're here and we're doing, I'm doing the podcast Overask. We're at Broke Agent Media. I'm a keynote speaker now, and it's been crazy shit.
Yeah. So what changes exactly have you seen over the period of COVID with real estate, with social media? Has there been anything that has really stood out?
There's been, definitely the comedy. And I always say, I'm not saying I was the first person to ever do real estate comedy because I wasn't, but when I was looking, when I started doing it, I was looking for inspiration, and it was a lot harder to find inspiration back in 2019 on skits and stuff like that. Now, every other post seems to be some sort of comedic skit or some shit like that. I think people are taking more risks, which is nice.
Yeah. But
I also think they're still, a lot of people at least are kind of missing the mark because they're still not being authentically themselves. So they're doing the funny thing or they're doing whatever, but they're doing it because they think it's going to get them a following or business or something like that. And they're not doing it because they're passionate about it or they like doing it or it's showing a real side of them. So I think there's a lot of growing pains going on right now, but I think a lot of good is coming from it as well.
Yeah. So one thing that I feel like one of the reasons I really enjoy following you is it seems like you have a good understanding of consumer attention and consumer behavior and what they enjoy and what they don't, because everybody has an opinion of what works on social media and what doesn't. And the reason, again, I like following you and I like following Ed Stulak, Chris Benjamin, some of those types of guys, is they seem to have a good understanding of what the marketplace enjoys and what the marketplace wants to see. And first of all, humor and comedy is undefeated, right? There's no question about that, but there also needs to be some kind of value within that. And so I wanted to pick your brain a little bit about what are your thoughts? Do you ever think about consumer attention, consumer behavior, and what is your thought process with that?
Yeah, there definitely has to be some sort of value. I think a lot of people are starting to miss the mark. Early on, when I was doing the comedy, I was just kind of it was a lot of trial and error for me. I was seeing what kind of stuck. And I was doing stuff where it was kind of poking a lot of fun at clients and stuff like that. I've kind of pushed away from that a little bit.
Right.
Because I didn't really see the value in it other than agent to agent, which is fine. Agent to agent is actually really good.
Right.
I've gotten a lot of referrals from that, but you don't want to, it's, a lot of trial and error, like I said. So,
right.
That's what I've been doing. And now, I'm getting into a higher price point.
Yeah.
And it's interesting to see what, because the comedy will still work. And we just shot a new video at a $14.5 million listing that we're going to have coming out. And it's still a comedic skit, but it's more of a commercial. It's more refined. And it's interesting to see because I always say rich people like to laugh too. And it's interesting to see how this is going to kind of pan out in the luxury, ultra luxury, because my price point has gone up since I've been doing these videos, which is, a lot of people wouldn't think, I started doing, $700,000-$800,000 houses, and now, my bread and butter is pretty much like 1.5 to 2 million right now, which is nice. And then we're starting to like get into that ultra luxury. I just teamed up with a high-end agent and in my office as well. And it's just, it's interesting to see. Like, I think a lot of people right now are doing the comedy just to become like real estate famous.
Right.
And I think that's the wrong way to go about it. Like,
right.
I had a pretty clear vision. And I say this all the time. Like, if you're doing this just to be a real estate agent, a lot of the comedy stuff maybe isn't going to work all the time.
Right.
It's good for listing videos, but like I'm doing it as a content creator. I have to worry about BAM and the podcast and the speaking and the presence, but then also doing it as like a real estate agent. So it's like a fine line.
Right.
And people have to find what works for them. They can't just like kind of copy and paste somebody else.
Right. Well, and that makes a lot of sense. One thing that I hear a lot, it seems like, is especially when you start to get into those higher price ranges, you'll start to have people look down on social media. Like my clientele, that high-end client that I'm looking for to purchase a $14 million listing or to sell a $14 million listing, they're not on social media. They're not on these different places where we're creating content. So I'm not going to do it. What's your answer to that? Do you think that's true? Do you think it's false? What are your thoughts?
I think a lot of people are on social media, and you might not even know it. Like a lot of them are kind of quietly on social media.
Right.
They might not be posting all the time, might not even be like a real profile of them, right? They're on it. And I think smart people are certainly paying attention to it and understanding the value in it.
Right.
So, I mean, a lot of the big agents at the agency, like James Harris and John Grauman and the guys everyone from Buying Beverly Hills and stuff, like they understand the value in it because there is value to having a social presence, but you shouldn't put all your value into that.
Right.
But it's certainly a piece of the puzzle.
Right. Yeah, because it seems like I've heard a couple stories here just in my local market with real estate agents that I have connections with, talking about how they sold like even celebrity homes to celebrities and different things. And the way they got those listings were from family members who were actually on social media. Like one was TikTok, right? They had a niece who was on TikTok who actually put the connection between the real estate agent and their celebrity family member. And they made that connection that way, which is insane to me that it can be that simple, right? But a lot of times people don't think about it that way. They don't think about it as, well, I'm going to reach somebody who may know somebody. And then that's where the connection is going to be made.
Exactly. Yeah. And even like that just actually made me think we had Jordan Cohen so Eric and I are in Jordan Cohen's new book. He's #1 RE/MAX agent in the world. We have a chapter in his book. And we had him back on the podcast to announce the book. And he had one of his clients is Mike, the Miz from WWE. He's like a big WWE.
Oh, right.
star.
I saw that. Yeah.
So, and he found Jordan on social media, on Instagram, and he tells the story on our podcast. So it's like, these are multi-million-dollar deals that are being found on social media. Like that's
right.
In the early 2000s, we were typing in whatever, or mid 2000s, whatever, we were typing in like websites. That was how we found things. And then they went to Facebook, and now it's like Instagram and TikTok. And it's all like, I look at Instagram and TikTok now as like a website page. Like,
well, 100%.
I look at it. Yeah. So it's pretty crazy. I think people who don't have a following, they like to shit on it a little bit. And I was just talking about this. Like I just did a keynote at a conference, and, my keynote's about like power personality, like how to, create opportunity with like a presence, how to create influence, shit like that.
Right.
And then like so many people after who do well in their business, but they don't have a social presence, they would come up on stage and be like, yeah, I'm not trying to be a real estate famous. I don't care about social media. It's like, all right, dude. But like, I think they're doing them and their clients a disservice.
Right.
I think it's a bigger piece of the puzzle than people think, especially moving forward. So, I mean, I don't know. Like I said, it's not everything. It's definitely not everything, but like there's a lot of business to be made.
Well, there's two things, and both of them are actually points that Gary Vaynerchuk make. And I'm waiting for the day that Overask has Gary V as a special guest.
We're working on it.
So, but he makes 2 points. Number one is what you're talking about is social media is not everything, but it's big. It's a really big piece because like what you're talking about, it's kind of like a digital resume, or kind of like it's just a way to know who you are. Like Tom Ferry talks about, know you, like you, trust you. There's really not a way to accomplish that at scale than social media. And I think it's really cool to see. But as to your point, talking about social media is not everything, treat it as an and game, which is Gary Vaynerchuk's point is, do cold calling and do social media and do mailers and go to events and put your signs out in the yard, do it all. Like, why would you not? You have all these resources to market yourself and your business and your listings and your different things. So use all of them, right?
Yeah. It's weird. It's weird that it's so divided. I mean, I've been saying that too. Like, I don't get why it's either one or the other. It's like, why can't you just do both? So I don't know. It's weird, but I mean, I don't really cold call or door knock or do any of that anymore.
Right.
But I'm still, I'm going to get back into open houses, and I'll probably get back into door knocking a little bit, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just like, I don't know. I don't understand why people just won't do both, and especially in the world we live in, social on video, especially, is such a good way for people to feel like they know you before they know you, and that's all you want. It's way easier to call someone that you know.
Right. Well, that 100%. So, I mean, as far as, because you had the WWE star kind of show up as a special guest on your podcast with a podcast episode that you had. Now, that came about because the agent has a pretty significant presence on social media.
Yeah.
So for some agents that may not have that at this point, do they still have some of these same opportunities, maybe at a smaller scale? And how do they build? Like, how do they build to get to that point to where they build a little bit of a better know you, like you, trust you brand, to where they may not be getting celebrities reaching out, but they may be getting a lot more friends and family and a lot more people in their sphere reaching out, which you have to start somewhere. I mean, you have to start somewhere to build. So what do you think? What is it? Is it consistency? Is it posting a lot? Is it just going video? Like, what are your best tips for them?
Yeah, it's consistency, and it's different for everybody. Everyone's going to try and sell you some bullshit fucking, you got to do this, and this, but it's not, everyone's different. So like Jordan, for example, he's not on video at all. All I preach is video.
Yeah.
Clearly Jordan's doing something right. He's the number one Remax agent in the world. I think he did like 320 million in 2021 or some shit as a single agent.
Wow.
And he just posts the nicest photography I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And he just does that consistently. I don't think it has as much to do. I mean, now he's certainly a presence in the industry. People know who he is. He has the following.
Yeah.
But I think the aesthetic is what grabs people. He consistently sells these homes. And people who are doing, if you want to be a luxury agent, find someone who's a luxury agent and shadow them. Do their open houses, do their showings, do videos in their houses, everything. Just like know everything you need to know about that.
Right.
And then you become the expert. So then people come, even though you have, 2,000 followers or whatever. If you're consistently doing that, like I said, all the value isn't in the presence. It helps once you've already got the content. And when you do have the content, the presence starts coming later, and the followers and the influence and shit like that. Right. But it all starts with the content. I had 800 followers, and the content builds and builds, and when you're on the right path, you'll start seeing growth in that. You'll start seeing growth in your business. But it's different for everyone. Jordan swears by his photography. He does amazing photography, and he's old school. He says it all the time. He has made all his money from his listing presentation. And he, over the years, because he's been so consistent, he's gotten, a ton of athlete clients, celebrities, musicians, actors, shit like that. And now he's got that name.
Right.
But yeah, you got to start, somewhere. So you start, yeah.
I mean, who was it? I can't remember exactly who it was, but you may know who it is. Basically, it was somebody who got Sylvester Stallone. Was that one of your guys that you had on your podcast?
Jordan is Stallone's agent. Yeah.
Was that
And
Jordan
he's-
too? Hey,
Yeah, and Jordan, and he's actually, Stallone wrote the foreword for the book.
that's what it was. That's why I saw that. Yeah, because I remember I saw something about it on a clip that you posted on Overask, and then I went to see Jordan's page, and then I saw a clip of Sylvester Stallone. Like literally, Jordan was doing a video and went over to Sylvester Stallone, which like, who doesn't have Sylvester Stallone as their hero? I mean, seriously.
I'm Italian. Rocky was my fucking
Everything. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty cool. So, there was another thing that I wanted to get your thoughts on. It's relatively a new thing over the past couple of weeks, and that is Meta coming out with being able to pay for your verification check. What are your thoughts on that?
Listen, I get both sides. I mean, I see a lot of people posting like, "Oh, you just want to feel important," all that shit. I get it for whatever. For me, I had my account taken down because it was saying I was, last year it said I was impersonating someone else, and what happened was a bunch of fake accounts kept coming up at me, and then I was speaking with people like high up at Facebook and Meta, and they were saying what they do is they all start mass reporting your real account, and then gets your real account taken down, and then they kind of take over. So for someone like me, where that's happened, and a lot of my shit is in my social, if I can pay $15 and make sure that never happens again and never have to worry about it, then I'm going to do that.
Right.
I don't know. I don't think it's bad. I mean, I think it's smart for Meta, obviously, that, they're making fucking billions.
Well, I was actually, literally. So that's what I'm looking up right now is because I saw the number. Like this article was from March 14th, and let's see. So, yeah, it looks like since they came out with this, $2 billion in its first year. I mean, that's insane.
First year. I mean, it just started too. Like,
yeah,
it's not even in Canada.
Oh, really? So it's $15 a month though, right?
Yeah.
Dang, they are getting people's cash. I mean,
that's smart.
It is smart.
It's smart. And like $15, it's a Netflix subscription.
Well, and that most people, and you may disagree actually, but in my opinion, I think most people do it to say they're verified now. But it's not the same as it once was where, you have a Matt Lionetti who has multiple, fake accounts that are trying to be him. And, you verified because you're somebody who is going to be copycatted and you're somewhat of a celebrity on Instagram. I think a lot of people consider you a real estate celebrity. So that was what was once considered a verification. Now it's you pay for it, and most people are like, well, now I'm verified, when it's like, well, anybody can be verified now. Which I agree with. Like, I think it does mean good things when it comes to like, I think you have better security, you have better things like that. Now, they were talking about how if you get the blue check and you pay for it, then you get better exposure, and that would be different. Like I would have a totally different mindset on it if that was the case, because
I think that is the case.
You think so?
I think that's what they're trying to do, because they have to give a bit more incentive, because that like thrill of being verified is going to wear off very quickly once everyone's verified. You're going to have more than just being verified, because everyone's verified. It'll almost be cooler not to be verified.
That's kind of my mindset, honestly.
But it is good to protect yourself.
Yeah.
And I think they will, they're going to have way more stake in the game to protect you now. Right. Because honestly, guys, like I had a connection at Meta, but I've heard horror stories of actually when accounts get taken down, they're very, very hard to get back.
Right.
And you do not want that to happen. Yeah. So, I mean, whatever, it's $15 a month.
Yeah.
I don't mind it. And I think they are trying to get like more exposure.
Right. Yeah. Oh, 100%. Well, I mean, people, spend $15 a morning at Starbucks. So, I mean, why not? Why not just use that for, I still don't know what I'm going to do yet. I haven't made the decision. I don't know if I want to kind of join that whole thing, or if I just want to ride my account without the verification yet. So,
are you eligible?
Yeah.
Oh,
Not for, I mean, I'm eligible to buy the,
yeah.
yeah. So, but I don't know if I'm going to or not. I want to see how it plays out after another couple weeks and see what happens.
I also heard that the shade of blue is different than like celebrity verification.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, something like that.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I know. It's going to be interesting to see.
They should have honestly made it, a different color.
What kind of like Elon did?
Yeah, they should have made it like
Red.
or they should have kept it blue and then made celebrities gold or some shit.
Well, like I know that
You know?
that's how it is on Twitter. Like Elon Musk came out with different verification. Like you'll have businesses will have a different, verification check, and then like celebrities will have one, and then the people who pay for it will have a different shit. Like that's how it should be. I feel like.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think it's kind of weird that it's like apparently it's a lighter shade of blue. I haven't really like looked into it, but I'm gonna look after this now and see if it is. But yeah, it's funny. It sucks for the people who paid like thousands and thousands of dollars to get to get verified. Fucking sucks.
Yeah, I know. I mean, you have that, and then you have people buying followers, and you have people buying comments. I mean, that's crazy how
That sucks. I cannot stand that, dude. Oh man, I see it so much now.
just to set the record, if somebody went out and bought 1,000 followers, 10,000 followers, what should they do right after listening to what you're about to say?
What should they do?
What should they do right now?
If they bought 10,000, it's going to come back to bite them in the ass because their engagement's going to be fucking horrible.
Okay.
They judge the engagement over like how many followers do you have and how many people are engaged, stuff like that. So if you actually only have 300 followers, but you have, 30,000 on are fake, that's not good. And I've seen a lot of people who just like delete the account and start from scratch.
Yeah.
Justin Brome, massive agent, did that. He bought followers like way back when, he said, and then he restarted his account and he's gotten like twice the amount of followers now organically.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's amazing. And that's what it's all about. Like, I know that a lot of people care so much more about how many followers they have, how much engagement they have, how many views they're getting. So they pay for it rather than just really caring about the followers that you have and having that be a trickle effect and getting more followers.
Yeah. And here's the thing, the presence, when I talk about presence, it's not all about followers. It's like how engaged are the followers that you have. Right. I mean, there's a lot of great agents I follow around me who are very hyper local type content, and they have 3,000 followers, but they are so well known in the city and well respected. Like that's what I mean by presence. It's not all about like I have followers. I don't even have that, like in the grand scheme of things, I don't have that many followers either. But like
you have a lot of followers.
Yeah, I guess like, but in the grand scheme, like I'm looking at like other people who have like way more than I do. But what I've been really working hard at this whole time is, while my followers go up, keeping that engagement, because a lot of people start losing the engagement as they start growing.
Right.
So I've worked really hard at keeping that engagement. So like, my videos will get more views than like a lot of the TV real estate agents, stuff like that. So I work really hard at that. And it's more about the people who are actually engaging with you. And like you said, focus on the people you already have.
Right.
People always ask me, how do you go viral? And like, that's the wrong question to ask. Yeah. Right. I mean, it's not about going viral, and I don't even really go viral. I get like 100 to 400,000 views on my videos, usually per video, which I don't consider viral. I consider viral like 1 million and up, but I consistently do that. And I'd rather get consistently 100 to 400,000 views than one time get 10 million views.
Oh, 100%. Well, and I think I don't know if you follow Brock Johnson or not, but he's kind of like an Instagram coach, and he has this term, or maybe it's not his, but he says it a lot, which is consider it going viral for you. So if you have, like for me, for example, I have about 2,500 followers. And so if I get 10, 20, 30,000 views, I'm considering that viral for me. Right. And so when you consistently get 100, 400,000 views and you get 1 million, 2 million plus, like that's viral for you. So, I mean, it's just, I feel like everybody just needs to like take a deep breath and remember what social media is here for. Social media is here number one, as just a social platform, which I could care less about that aspect of it. I care about it more as a tool to work the business that I have, spread the things that make me, my family, my interests, different things like that, and then also spread what I'm doing in my business so people know what I'm up to and how I can help them. And then at the same time, creating that engagement to build and know you, like you, trust you.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, people really do need to take a step back and realize like it's only Instagram or it's only TikTok. Like don't get, it's so, people have made it into such a grind. You got to post 5 times a day. Why aren't you posting 15 times this week? It's like, fuck man. Like, I don't know. I don't want to. Like, I don't post that much.
Yeah.
Oh, and like I said, it's different for everyone. It's not one size fits all. Right. So people need to just like, have some fun with it. It's a fucking app at the end of the day. Who gives a fuck? Have some fun with it. Show what you're doing that day. Show your family. Show that you like to ride fucking horses. Show that shit.
Right.
People want to see it. People want to connect with you. Take some risks on it. Like the whole like just sold. Right. I get why you do it. You want a nice page aesthetic you want people to come to their page and say and see a fucking list of just solds, and you can still do that, but you can do it in a more creative way. Right. So what I would do is I would do videos of each just sold. So what the fuck, I'm blanking on what it's called right now with the green screen right now. Yeah. Like that shit is crushing. So what I would do is I would do like a just sold, and then I would flip through pictures behind me with me talking about my just sold. Be like, yeah, I met these guys in an open house. They're an amazing family. They moved out of town, and I'm so happy for them. It was such a great time working with them, blah, blah, blah. Put that as a reel. You can still have your thumbnail as a just sold picture. So you still have that same aesthetic, but it's a little more interesting, and people get to know you just a little bit more than just, hiding behind pictures.
Well, and that is a perfect way for people to get comfortable getting on video and recording themselves talking, because now they're talking about something that they're very familiar with, which is their listings, which is the deals that they're doing, and they get to kind of brag about themselves a little bit, which is good. I mean, you get to show people that you're producing, that you're active, that you're not just an Instagram realtor that doesn't do anything, right? You're actually getting to like show people that you're actually working, and you get to show them this house by flipping through the photos. I mean, that's a genius idea that not a lot of people are doing on the
not a lot
of things.
You have to humanize this. You have to humanize this entire business at this point, especially like tell a story. I mean, the thing Sirhan always says, facts tell, stories sell. Yeah. Or whatever. Like, it's about the story. People want the story. They want to see themselves in the house. They want to like, know what it feels like. That's why I put so much emphasis on my listing commercials. I don't even call them listing videos. They're commercials for the house. And what I try and do is have a concept and a script and make someone feel something, feel like they can see themselves here, but it just happens to be in the listing. It's not, I can talk about the hardwood floors and the fucking nice fridge in a sheet later on, on the MLS listing. I don't have to state it's got hardwood floors and 9-foot ceilings. Yeah. In a video, in a listing commercial, if you're going to have the audacity to be in the video, you better be doing something that people can't just fucking read on an MLS sheet. Like, do something. What I like to do is I try and just get as much attention with the video as possible. And then once you have their attention, you can direct them wherever you want. Right. But you have to win them over. If you open that door and go, hey, welcome to my beautiful listing, I'm fucking out. I'm out because I've seen it a million times before.
Well, and your point, I mean, I can't wait to make that a short clip. Basically what you said, if you're making a video and if you're in the video, making the video that someone can read, then just don't make the video at all. That's really powerful though, because it's so true. Like, this place has got 9-foot ceilings and hardwood floors and the cabinets are redone. Like, they can read that in the description of the listing on a piece of paper or on MLS or whatever they need to do to go find it. What if you doing? If you still want to do that, that's fine, but you need to do more. Have the creative listing commercial Right.
And then have if you want to direct them to your next video of you going through the house being like, yeah, this is a beautiful, and like, you know, I get it in the high-end homes, because in the high-end homes, the fucking chandelier is made out of glass from the fucking some Colosseum in Rome.
Right.
But like, I get why they want to explain these things. But when you're in a cookie cutter house,
right,
the builder grade hardwood floors isn't really worth mentioning too much.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, and this is why, you know, like, and for example, I think of somebody who does a really good job of this is Brad McCullum. Like, his listing videos are fire, and he's really not, I mean, he's doing a great job of bringing people in and showing the home. Like, I mean, he's known for his listing videos, so he does a really good job of that, but that's his style. I think what you were talking about before is like, Matt has his style, Brad has his style, Chris has his style, Ed has his style. Stop trying to be like Matt and all these other guys. Be you, be your genuine self, and go out there and get it. It's hard for people.
It is hard for people. And listen, like, just because I said that resonated with you, and that's going to resonate with other people as well, but that might not resonate with someone else. So what the fuck do I know at the end of the day? Prove me wrong. If you think there's a way to open a door and explain everything in the house in a very creative, engaging way, then do it. You know, all this social media shit that you see it's just opinion. It's all opinion.
Right.
So people, you know, they need to like realize that. And I'm just like, you know, I get pretty like passionate about it at this point, because, you know, we've been working hard at like growing socials and helping people grow socials. And there's a lot of these like fake gurus who are telling you kind of just like copy paste type headlines that they see, and they make you feel like you can't do something. But at the end of the day, like I said, this is all opinion. If you like doing that style of, these are hardwood floors, whatever, do it.
Yeah.
But like, remember the end goal. The end goal is to get the most eyeballs on your property.
Consumer attention.
Yes.
How can we get attention on the consumers? Yeah. I mean, it's so true. I mean, Gary Vaynerchuk talks about it a lot. I mean, he talks about so much social media, and so there's so many different things. But I know we have to wrap up. I know we're a little bit over the time here.
It's all good, dude. This was a good one. You asked good questions. I'm happy about this one.
Yeah, well,
a lot of times I get the same questions, like, how do you think of your videos? Which is fine. I like answering it, but it's like, it's nice to have like just more of a conversation.
Oh yeah. No, I mean, this is good. I mean, I think that it's, and I know we're running out of time, so I need to let you go, but
no, okay.
If you're not following Matt, go follow him now. I mean, he's involved with Broke Agent Media. He's been involved in BAM, which is a new thing that you guys are up to, which is killing it. But definitely go follow his page. He has awesome stuff, and I wish that we had more time, but I know that something with daylight savings time got me all messed up. Because
we'll do a part 2.
Yeah, we'll do a part 2.
Leave it on a cliffhanger. We'll leave it on a cliffhanger. If you want to make good listing videos, you need to
end the podcast.
Till next time.
All right, Matt. Well, thank you very much. Everybody go check out Matt. And until part 2. See you guys.
Thanks, dude.